What's up, guys? I know it's been a long time since my last video, but I've been working on the city and I've been getting quite a lot done, so try to keep it brief so we can move on to these two new buildings over here. But first, got all kinds of smaller little updates I gotta show you. So first off, I wanted to put more focus on the exterior of the buildings, like just more stuff going on the streets and that sort of thing. And I finally got around to a couple things I was always gonna do. So there's some new posters I gotta show you from the actual games that I've put around the city, as well as some wrecked cars I finally got around to making. I'll show you this first one real quick. This nice dark green little wrecked car right here. Finally one missing the doors too, because that's something I always forget to do. Anyways, alright, moving on. Some of the 188 assets finally got put into the mock as well. Here's the white camper from the 188. Basically using it as some little extra space for the refugee camp, and just another place for them to sleep and hang out. And right here we also got one of the other posters, probably my favorite. I mean, come on, that's a classic, and I had to put that on the Brotherhood building. Then here's another one of the wrecked cars. This one's appeared in a couple of the other videos, but never really showed it up close before. So yep. Then I did move some figures around and did a couple more little scenes with the figures. So up here we got some guys fighting over a fish. You know, just some dark humor. These two guys just fighting over this fish. Lord knows where they got it, in the middle of this apocalyptic city. So yeah, just a little Fallout 3 humor there. And there's a couple new figures as well. Some I gotta show you. Alright, moving over here though. Got another one of the wrecked cars right there. This is probably my favorite. It's really sporty looking as well as pretty classy. So really like that one. Wish there was more pieces in dark blue I could use, but that's all I had at the moment. So, but still need to put some rusted colors in there or whatever. On this building right here, there's a diner. I'll be showing you this here in a little bit, but got another poster right there with a Mr. Handy. That's an Abraxo ad. And then in the old Raider hideout right here, this was kind of an office building or whatever, so I gave it this classic right here. Shout out to New Vegas right there. Alright, what else? We got this, some assets from the 188, my military truck and the military tent. Even though these are from New Vegas, they're the same assets used in Fallout 3. And there's a little military checkpoint. There's a whole bunch of these in Fallout 3, and then they're in Fallout 4, but unfortunately Fallout 4 they use different assets. They have the APC type vehicles instead of the trucks, but this is a pretty common thing you'd see in Fallout 3. Is just a military checkpoint, and then whatever military robot, either Mr. Gutsy or Sentry Bot, would be just the last man standing at these checkpoints. So there's our Mr. Gutsy, just running that checkpoint now in the apocalypse. Then here we also got another wrecked car. Probably my least favorite. I'm probably going to redo this at some point. And then finally, here's some figures I gotta show you. So this guy is supposed to be combat armor. To me it looks more like combat armor reinforced, rather than just the normal. But I still think this guy came out really well. I really like how that all looks. And then two more figures right here. But these guys might not be making it into the city for a long time. This guy on the left is pretty much straight up a CMF figure. I did change the face obviously, but I need to find a couple more ways to make him more unique. But obviously he's using the same piece as the power armor, and it's got printing on it even, so I decided I want to have like a really special power armor, but I still don't know what I'm going to do with that in terms of putting it in the layout. And then this guy's just got that crazy shiny body wear. Not finalized. Still need to get a couple more pieces to figure out what I'm going to do with this, or even if I'm going to use it, because it's a little bit too much. But I thought it would still be maybe a cool stand-in for metal armor or something. Alright. And lastly, we got this little scene right here. It's not in the layout yet because it's going to be going probably right about here, but this is my build space, and so I'm saving it to the end before I start doing the road here. But these two are going to go on the road. These are some of my old cars from one of my old videos. And this is the raiders. They're chasing this guy down. And I try to get all the fire coming out of the exhausts and all that. But this guy's also got an explosion going off beneath his car. I want to show he's kind of getting blown up a little bit there in the back from this guy throwing dynamite. But yeah, you've seen those cars before already if you've seen that video. And I just turned into a little scene with a little explosion build. But that's going to look real good once in the mock. And yep, let's go ahead and get into our two new buildings now. So we got this factory on the left, full of ghouls, and then we got this little diner right here. Oops, sorry. Always forget to put the skeleton back every time I move the diner. Alright, it's taking our diner off the layout. So it's got a layer of filler brick on the bottom. Just ignore that. That's just to bring it up to the height of the sidewalk, and you can't see it in the layout. And first off, you might say I already got a diner, but that diner is just some random, office building or store or something that got turned into a diner after the bombs, just for the survivors to have a place to eat or whatever. But this is an actual pre-war diner. And so first off, the roof, super whack. Not how I was planning on it to look or anything. I just got to the point where I had no white smooth surfaces, so I just used every single one I had, and that's just kind of how it came out. It's definitely a unique look in the rest of the city, but yeah, not exactly how I wanted it to come out. Might redo it at some point, but I just didn't have enough white tiles or anything else. So as I said, literally just used every smooth white surface I could find. But getting into the interior, it just lifts off like this, just slots in there. And this building's really polished on the inside, but pretty empty at the same time. So looking on the inside, it's got the checkerboard floors in tan and dark gray. I didn't want to do white and black, so I wanted to show it that it had faded and rusted and stuff over time. So you can see that's just behind the bar reel right there. Not too much, an oven, stove, and espresso machine or something, just some stuff there. And some of their tables are just knocked over, and the chairs are knocked over. And then there's a hole in the wall over here. And that's about it. As I said, very small building. It was actually really nice to do a small building for a change compared to all the behemoths I've done lately. Yeah. And this is what the hole looks like, blown in the side there. Yeah, so very simple. All tiled up though, except the countertop. But so it looks pretty nice on the inside, but really boring. Pretty much nothing really to it. Just another little space to explore in the city. But now we'll move on to my favorite building, probably. This new factory building. I think you're gonna like it. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, before we get into the interior of this building, gotta show some of this stuff on the outside first. So it's got two of these sidewalks right here. That's where the diner would go, obviously, but just leaving it out to show you for now. So that's the semi-hauler, back part of the truck from the 188. And I actually expanded it a little bit, so it's actually longer now. And there's the little loading door for this factory slash warehouse, whatever this place is. I'll show you the interior in a second. But just showing you those alleyways. Oh, and also real quick, totally forgot to show it. This is obviously the old raider hideout. And I just hung some bodies and a skeleton right there. And there's the vault sign. Oh, and I defaced that as well, because the raiders live here, obviously. And yeah, so I think this raider building looks like a billion times more raider-like now. But anyways, moving on to the new building. Let's get this off the layout and show you a little closer up. Alright, so this building is 32 by 48. It's the same size as the new raider hideout, the dark red building right next to it. And my biggest grievance is the fact that that dark red building, the raider hideout, and this building, almost the same height. And pretty annoying. This one is a tiny bit taller though. Hopefully I can make it a little bit taller to distinguish between them a little bit better. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the interior. So this building's got a very different approach than pretty much all my other buildings. All kinds of crazy stuff going on with this one. But first we'll just take the roof off. It's got a connection point there at the front and then one in the back. But obviously you could see it's a little warpy right now. I'm gonna have to flatten it out at some point because it's not behaving. Alright, with the roof removed, this is the front office. We'll take a look at that in a second. But first we're going to look at the main room, the little foyer lobby here. So coming in, you got the front desk right there, chair knocked over, and the filing cabinet in the corner. There's a knocked over Nuka-Cola vending machine right here. Let me see if I can... can't quite show you through the windows. A little too tight, but... And then over here we just got some waiting chairs and a cobweb up top, and just table be behind that. And so this is actually my ghoul nest. So this building is ghoul-infested. So before we start taking a look at all that crazy exterior back in the factory section, putting the front offices back on. Oops, turn that around though. Alright. So you can see the ghouls and the interior of this factory through the little loading door here, which there's no actual like garage door, it's just open, even though it is using the actual parts for that. But I don't really have Lego doesn't make them in 10 long, I think they're 8 long or something. But one of the interesting things I did with this building is I wanted to make sure you could really see through the side of it so you could get really cool interior shots. And so this part of the wall right here just all pops off like that. And now, oops, sorry. Now let's take a look at this interior. So here's I guess the main room, factory floor. It's got this machine over there in the corner. Don't really know what's up with that. And it's got a little room back there. We'll take a look at that in a second. And this ghoul here is making a snack of the last guy to explore. And yeah, here's a little loading bin. It's got some little electric boxes or fuse boxes or something in the corner. And so I did use the Ninjago skeletons from their first wave for the ghouls. Most people use zombie-esque stuff, and lots of people have custom zombie-esque looking ghoul figures, but you know, I want to be a pure builder with the figures, at least for the city mock. So obviously with the super mutants, they're pure built, all official Lego parts, and so I just decided to use the ghouls as Ninjago skeletons for the ghouls. I think it works out well enough. And so you can see it's got this conveyor belt right here with these tools on it. I guess that's what's getting made here in the factory, and that does actually function. You can spin it. Here, let me do it from over here. And those will actually fall into the little box over there. I wanted to make sure that the play features like this type of stuff worked properly. Oops. And those can actually go through the wall there. And it's all functioning properly. So that was pretty fun. If I don't knock them off with my fingers, but I'm trying to hold my camera right now. Alright, up here on the catwalk, we just got a little workbench of some sort. And then this is like an industrial shelf I tried to make. And then not too much, just leading over here to the the main office. And got a bookshelf over there with all kinds of stuff on it. Then spinning this around, you can see another ghoul right here, just hanging out. Just a bunch of desks and that sort of stuff up here. Filing cabinets. Not too much, just kind of the same old. And then obviously last thing I gotta show you is that room back there. And no, none of this is modular. So how can you mess with that room? Well, I did the same thing I did for that side. There's a little part of the wall right here that can pop out and give you a look at that side of the room. And this is really the best place to play with the conveyor belt. But also that machine that's under the catwalk, I wanted to do a Fallout 4 reference to where like the ghouls are just, you know, coming out of everywhere, out of random windows and popping out of boxes or whatever. They just seem to come out of nowhere. So I have one coming out of that machine. And the machine actually is all the way hollow, so things can go all the way through. And so yeah, that's my little ghoul-infested factory right here. And so yeah, so that's the 2 new buildings. Got another one already in the works, so hopefully it won't be too long till the next video. But if you could let me know in the comments if I should try and post a little more frequently, or if I post enough as it is. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you like the 2 new buildings and all the other in general changes to the layout. Try to make it a little more interesting. And I finally got some of the older buildings properly placed in the mock. And so yeah, hope you guys like all the updates to the layout, and hope to see you guys in the next one. And thank you so much for watching.